This video is brought to you by Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist, my new book, which is a comprehensive guide to all aspects of music theory necessary for playing rock guitar. From blues to the cycle of fifths, from understanding and using modes to choosing the right notes for a melodic solo, from pentatonic scales to chord construction and keys. It's all covered in a clear and concise manner. With accompanying video demonstrations, jam tracks and tabs, you'll learn to use the knowledge you gain in accessible ways that make sense for less than the cost of a few guitar lessons. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Yesterday's solo analysis video was of a solo from a song called Something Someone by a band called Bad Touch, a band that I've just recently discovered, and as I said yesterday, the way I discovered them was through that Spotify feature where you get to the end of an album that you're listening to, and I do tend to listen to albums on Spotify rather than playlists. Do playlists sometimes, but usually I'll put an album on and listen from start to finish. And when you get to the end of an album on Spotify, it will just kind of continue playing music based upon, what it's learned about your listening habits and musical tastes. And I'm discovering a lot of new bands that way and really enjoying myself. So I thought today what I'd do is run through 5 bands that I've discovered in that way. Well, mainly that way. The first one that we're going to look at, I didn't, but we'll talk about that in a second. So these are 5 bands which are relatively new to me, and I'm really enjoying the stuff that they're doing, and I think you might as well. So links to all of these bands down in the description. Go and check them out, and let's have a look at who exactly we're talking about.
King.
Yes, King. Now, this band here I didn't discover via Spotify. These basically came to me from a mate's recommendation. He's going to see them at some point live, or will have done by the time this video goes out. They're from Glasgow. And what notes have I made about this band, having listened to a few tracks? Well, I've got written down here, melodic, rootsy, a little bit sort of Creedence Clearwater-ish. Or maybe a sort of a harder-edged Dire Straits kind of sound. It's it's kind of rootsy, melodic, country tinged, slightly hard rock is how I would describe them. Or another way you could put it is, imagine what the Allman Brothers would sound like if they came from Glasgow. The lead singer there, I think Alan Nimmo he's called, his trademark on stage is playing a Strat and wearing a kilt. So great band, lots of personality, and just great music. If you like, straight down the middle kind of melodic classic rock, then you're going to love these guys, so go and check them out. Let's see who's next.
Bad Touch.
The aforementioned Bad Touch. What have I got written down about these? Riffy classic rock. They do that sort of Mutt Lang kind of thing on the choruses as well. The gang vocals that you hear on like AC/DC records and stuff like that. The riffing has a whiff of Jimmy Page about it. Imagine if you can, Jimmy Page doing a collaboration with the Black Crowes. That kind of vibe. It's got sort of a southern rock swagger to a lot of it. These guys, and which they're not from the US. These guys are from Norfolk in the UK. Familiar but new sounding is what I've got written down here. It's everything's these could be album tracks or kind of big hit songs from the 70s in the way that you feel like you've lived with them for ages, but they're still new to you. Very, very kind of great riffy kind of rock band with a nice kind of retro 70s sound, and I don't mean that in a sort of pejorative way. It sounds like the best of that kind of era of classic hard rock from the 70s. What I think of as perhaps the golden age of that genre, because I think the bands of that period had the enormous advantage of not having grown up listening to a lot of bands that sounded like that, so they were kind of inventing it as they went along, and this band has a whiff of that kind of feel about them, and I can highly recommend them. Let's see who's next.
Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown.
Yes, Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown. These guys are from Nashville, and Tyler Bryant there, you can see at the front of the picture, vocalist, main kind of band leader, I guess you'd say. But I think they also have Brad Whitford from Aerosmith. I think his son plays with them as well. What have I got written down here? Bluesy hard rock, rough-edged, not slick and polished. You know, you've got that sort of that kind of intimacy that you hear. It's not, the rough edges haven't been smoothed off. You can you feel like you're in the room with the band, which is always something I like. You know, it just makes you feel more like part of what's going on. Imagine Jimi Hendrix jamming with Led Zeppelin. It probably happened back in the day, didn't it? But that's what I've got written down here when I was making notes. A little bit of a kind of Lenny Kravitz kind of feel to it as well. You know, in his kind of harder moments, things like Are You Gonna Go My Way? Songs like that, you know. There's that kind of retro swaggery kind of hard-edged blues rock thing going on. I've also got Imagine Red Hot Chili Peppers playing in the style of AC/DC. That's just one of the things that popped into my head as I was listening to them, you know. And if all of that has whetted your appetite, then go and check out the links down in the description. But definitely worth a listen. Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown. Let's see who's next.
The Temperance Movement.
The Temperance Movement, indeed, another Glasgow band. And what notes have I made here? Like Bad Company mixed with Aerosmith. It's got a loose, funky, kind of arrogant swagger to it. Again, hard-edged and melodic, with really kind of blues-based soloing, which puts me in mind of Joe Walsh and Angus Young. I say I discovered this band via Spotify. I rediscovered them via Spotify. Many years ago, I used to do a little bit on a local community radio station in this area, and they were one of the bands who we featured. We didn't interview them or anything like that, but we'd kind of, there was a new music breaking music kind of show that we used to do, and we featured them. That was back in about 2012, I think it was, and I'd forgotten all about them until Mr. Spotify kind of suggested them after I'd been listening to what I'd been listening to when this popped up on the end of an album. I think it might have been a Bad Company album or something, but that kind of, I was certainly listening to some 70s classic rock, hard rock sort of stuff, and these guys kind of popped up, and I'm enjoying rediscovering their music, so hopefully you like them as well. As I say, link in the description, go and check them out. Let's see who's last today.
Dirty Honey.
Yes, indeed, Dirty Honey, all the way from Los Angeles, and again, I discovered these as I've described by their music was suggested to me when I got to the end of a Guns N' Roses listening session on Spotify, and they are kind of in that sort of vein, I would guess, perhaps a little bluesier than Guns N' Roses. Imagine Slash playing with AC/DC, that kind of vibe. And the vocalist again reminds me of both AC/DC and Guns N' Roses. I've got vocals, a mix of Bon Scott and Axl Rose. So that kind of gives you some sort of flavour there. These are probably the least bluesy band of the lot. There's still kind of a bit of an influence there, but it's more towards the hard rock side of things, with pounding riffs and huge kind of chant-along choruses, and as I say, all the lead guitar work does put me in mind of a certain Les Paul toting, top hat wearing native of Stoke-on-Trent in the UK. They put me in mind, if you're familiar with another band I'm a big fan of, a UK band called Thunder. Just got that kind of catchy, melodic, hard-edged, slightly bluesy, pounding riff, hard rock kind of thing going on, and I'm really, really enjoying their stuff. So there you go, folks. Those are 5 bands that I have only recently discovered, and maybe some of them, maybe all of them, are new to you as well, and if that's the case, go and check out the links in the description. And that is the video for today. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen and found it useful and informative in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time. We drink beer and talk about stuff, music, guitars, whatever. It's a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.